There was a time when the death of a Whitby would have made the Evening Post. 2 generations earlier, flags would have been flown at half-mast and taps played in town squares at dusk. When Ethan and Ethel Whitby perished after their Buick collided with a logging truck on Route 9 in the Hudson Valley, just weeks after so many of their pals lost their lives on the Titanic, a special announcement thudded onto doorsteps just before 5. All across New York State and greater New England, women standing in their parlors shrieked at the news. Men hung their heads over their desks in sorrow, removing their hats for these leaders of industry, these strong-willed, big-toothed Americans. When the plane carrying Ethan's son William and his new wife plummeted into the Atlantic 2 days after their wedding, all the major magazine covers displayed the couple's youthful images, mourning the country's great loss. But when Roger Whitby Jr. died half a century later, there was no such hubbub. On the night that Roger died, his youngest child, Nick, was completely unaware of his father's passing. Nick did not receive notification by newspaper or even by phone. No, that night at midnight, Nick Whitby was off the grid. The 21-year-old had left his cell phone in his desk drawer in New York City and was now standing under the stars in northern Maine, shaking, about to commit an act of civil disobedience. As he beheld the construction site before him, Nick breathed too quickly and tried to muster up the fire, the fight that he needed right now. Metal scaffolding encased the concrete frame of a 6-story, half-built biotech lab, which was going up on the campus of Kennebec Valley Community College. He had done his research. The reports claimed that the lab would bring jobs to this empty expanse of rural vacation land. But Nick knew that it would also mess with the natural order of the world. Once the walls of the lab were up, scientists would sit inside of them and breed mice with human ears, or manipulate corn so that it grew 4 feet high in 2 months, and gave everyone who ate it cancer. This building was just one more development feeding the tumor that was the neoliberal takeover of America and the greater globalized world. Civilization itself was going to shit. Things were at a tipping point, and somebody had to step up and resist the destruction. So there he was, in the middle of the night in Maine, in line with 8 other brave lunatics. He was taking a stand with a group of real anarchists from New York City. And as he took that stand, he couldn't help thinking about what a fraud he really was. God, he was such a nerd. Clouds of his breath pumped out too quickly, and everyone could see. Soon they would know that he'd never done anything like this before. The air was very cold, even in a wool sweater and black hooded sweatshirt with a beanie cap pulled over his forehead. He was freezing. For all purposes, April was still winter in Maine. But Nick knew from his childhood trips through the state to the Whitby family reunions that in a few short weeks the sounds of bullfrogs croaking and crickets singing would emerge. He wished so badly for those sounds now, anything to cover up his huffs of panic. He was third in the line of people, and his comrades, or future comrades, as he was committed to showing he was just like them, were all dressed in similarly grungy jeans and winter hats, with bandit bandanas tied around their necks. There were no lights for miles. Above Nick, the sky was so clear and stars so bright that he could see the Milky Way. If he'd had time, he could have named every constellation. He was good at things like that. Big D, the lanky and unsmiling leader of this crew, the bearded man Nick had met only yesterday in the van on the way up, turned around and whispered harshly, "You all right, brother? Kever's going first, and then you're up. As soon as he gets into the bucket of the crane, you need to start climbing." Nick nodded but said nothing. Then Big D's hands were suddenly on Nick's biceps. The guy's breath was redolent of the garlic-heavy stir-fry the farm owners had made them for dinner. "If you can't do this, walk away now. We need to act quickly once everyone is up there. If you're in, stay in. But if you're out, you need to get out. Now.